Robertson, Miss Beach Cover with Mike Downey, Social Fling with Mike Harris, Smilin' Sterling with Earl Fram, Murray's Newport with Ian Downey, Moorland's Greta with Ron McClanagan, and Narrow Surgeon with Ray Alberio. A field of 8 behind the gate. They go to the backstretch. They're off quickly now on the rail. It's SS May West on the outside. Dottie's Last Racing 2 up on the outside. Smilin' Sterling is moving 3. Miss Beach Cover moves from 4th on the rail. Murray's Newport's on the outside. Now moves to the rail at the 8th. He's racing in 5. Driving up on the outside now to challenge. They swing round the turn. Out in front it's SS May West on the rail. Miss Beach Cover on the rail too. Dottie's Last 3 on the outside. Opening quarter in 31 seconds. They move off the turn. Drive down the stretch to race in front of the stand for the first time. SS May West out in front. The leader by a length and a half. Miss Beach Cover is racing 2. Dottie's Last is now on the rail moving 3. Smilin' Sterling on the rail in 4. Murray's Newport races 5 on the rail. On the outside Moorland's Greta moving 6. Followed round the turn by Social Fling and Narrow Surgeon. They race now for the half mile. On by the half in 104 and 2. Out of 2 and up on the outside. Miss Beach Cover is on the move. SS May West is now 2. Dottie's Last off the rail racing in 3. On the outside Smilin' Sterling moving 4. Murray's Newport on the rail 5. Then it's a Moorland's Greta. Narrow Surgeon trots strong on the outside and the trailer as they go to the turn for the 3/4. It's now Social Fling. They swing by the 3/4 pole in 135. Miss Beach Cover is out in front by a length. Off the rail, here comes SS May West. Murray's Newport on the rail is driving 3. Swinging 3 wide. Dottie's Last now 4th on the outside. They're at the 7/8 now and driving on home. On the inside, Miss Beach Cover, SS May West. Here comes Dottie's Last. Here comes Murray's Newport. There's 6 wide driving to the wire. Dottie's Last up on the outside. Murray's Newport on the rail. Here they are. Mile and 2, 08 and 4. Hennessy, B.J. Demon with Mike Berrio, Sky Glen Merriam with Paul Bro, Dottie's Last with Brian Robertson, Pinedale Cheryl with Jean LeBlanc, Fashion Boutique with Paul Delaney, Midwatch Melody with Dave Carey, and Cambridge Dam with Doug Beckwith. A field of 9 behind the gate. They go to the backstretch. They're off quickly now. Island Eliza takes the lead up on the outside. Racing 2, Sky Glen Miriam in along the rail, moving 3. Roof Vent Brent, they go to the turn. Island Eliza out in front up on the outside now. Challenging for the lead. They swing round the turn. Sky Glen Miriam, Dottie's Last on the rail. Up on the outside, racing in for mid. Island Eliza, mid-watch Melody on the outside. Island Eliza now racing in 2. Roof Vent Brent moving 3. Cambridge Dan on the outside 4. BJ Demon on the outside racing in 5. They go to the turn. Sky Glen Merriam 6 on the rail. Then Dottie's last. Pinedale Cheryl and the trailer Fashion Boutique. They go to the turn now on their way to the half. Mid-watch Melody on top. 105 and 3. Cambridge Dan by a length and a half. Second on the outside, on the inside. Island Eliza by a quarter length racing in 3. Up on the outside now BJ Demon moves 4. Sky Glen Merriam 5th on the outside. There by the 5/8. In along the rail. Roof Vent Brent racing 6th. And Dottie's last 7 on the outside. Pinedale Cheryl and the trailer now to the outside. Fashion Boutique. They go to the turn by a half length at the 3/4 and 138 and 3. Mid-watch Melody has the lead. That's Mid-watch Melody out in front. Up on the outside. Cambridge Dan racing 2 on the inside. Island Eliza moving 3. BJ Demon 3 wides 4th on the outside. They're bunched up tightly at the 7/8 now and drive on home. Mid-watch Melody now. Cambridge Dan. BJ Demon on the outside in between horses. Dottie's last. They're 5 wide. Island Eliza looking for room. Cambridge Dan. Mid-watch Melody. Dottie's last in 2, 14 and 4. Gate is now moving for race 11. Lillian Dodger with Dave Carey. Andy New Regal with Wayne Pike. Glengal Sam with Paul Bro. Lost to Success with Ray Alberio. Sammy Seal with Gary McDonald. Adio Servant with Walter Chevrolet. DJ's Max with Morris Roy. Dottie's Last with Brian Robertson. And RL Cash with Mike Downey. A field of 9 behind the gate. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Lillian Dodger on the inside with the lead. Glengal Sam's up on the outside, racing 2 and Lost to Success. Moves 3 wide. They swing now to the paddock turn. Glengal Sam out in front, moves to the rail by the 8th. Lost to Success second and challenges 4. Takes command on the outside. They wheel round the paddock turn now for the opening quarter. Lost to Success takes over the lead. Moves to the rail. They race on by the quarter in 29 seconds. Flat move down the stretch. Race in front of the stand for the first time. Lost to Success out in front. Glengal Sam racing to Lillian Dodger moving 3. Adio Servant racing in for RL Cash moving 5. Sammy Seal racing 6. Now Dottie's Last moving 7. DJ's Max and the trailer as they go to the turn. Andy New Regal, they're on their way to the half and out in front. Lost to Success is still the leader by a length and a half. Glengal Sam racing second half, 102 and 4. Lillian Dodger moving 3. They go to the backstretch for the final time. Lost to Success. Glengal Sam out of 2 is up on the outside. Lillian Dodger racing in 3. They're on by the 5/8. Lost to Success on the inside. Glengal Sam is up on the outside. Lillian Dodger to the outside. Racing 3. Adio Servant moving 4 on the outside. Sammy Seal on the rail 5. RL Cash 6 moves to the outside. 3/4 134 and 1. Lillian Dodger on the outside. Glengal Sam is on the inside. Adio Servant racing 3rd. Round the turn now to the 7/8. Glengal
Glengal Sam on the rail. Lillian Dodger on the outside. They come on home. Lillian Dodger, Glengal Sam, Adios, Serving RL Cash. Dottie's Last is on the move. Lillian Dodger, Glengal Sam, and Dottie's Last up on the outside. Lillian Dodger, Adios, Serving. It's going to be Adios, Serving. Here they are in 2:07 and 3. They go to the backstretch. Well, they're off quickly on the inside. Sam Meseal has the lead. They rush 5 wide now to the paddock turn. Out of the pack, that's Windy Bay Bomber out in front by 2 lengths. Sammy Seal driving 2 up on the far outside. Embassy Omega moving 3. Vicky's out. Highland Notice on the move. They're around the turn now, and the leader, Windy Bay Bomber, is out in front by 1.5 lengths. Highland Notice racing 2 and along the rail. Sammy Seal moving 3. They're around the turn and by the opening quarter. 31 seconds off the turn. Down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time, and the leader, Windy Bay Bomber, by 1.5 lengths. Highland Notice racing 2. Vicky's out on the outside, moving 3. Sammy Seal on the rail in 4. Embassy Omega 5 on the outside. Demand Control from 6 moves to the outside, and it's J.T. Barron as they swing into the turn. Dottie's Last down the trailer is Ken Ruzoa. They're on by the half mile in 1:02 and 2. Windy Bay Bomber out in front, 1.25 lengths. Vicky's Isle on the outside, driving 2. Highland Notice is on the rail, moving 3. Sammy Seal on the rail 4. Quickly now 3 wide, 5 now 4th on the outside. That's Demand Control there by the 5/8. Windy Bay Bomber still in command. Vicky's out driving 2 up on the far outside. 3 wide and now second, challenging the leader. That's Demand Control there by the 3/4 and 1:33 and 4. Demand Control on the outside now is in command by a half length. Windy Bay Bomber second on the rail. Highland Notice racing in 3. They're round the turn. J.T. Barron off the rail from 4. They swing on home. Windy Bay Bomber moves again on the outside. Demand Control in between horses. Flying on the outside. J.T. Barron, they rush to the wire. J.T. Barron up on the outside at the wire. Going to be J.T. Barron, Windy Bay Bomber, and Demand Control in 2:06. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Woodmere Hank has the lead. Woodmere Andy on the inside. Devlin B flying on the far outside takes command as they go to the turn. Devlin B, the leader, moves to the rail, opens up 1.25 lengths. Woodmere Hank by a neck is second on the rail. Chancel Lane third, and moving on the outside, Woodmere Andy on the rail. Racing in 4, 1 Dragon moving 5. Island Eliza driving 6, and Orbel Express, and the trailer is Gold Ronnie. They're around the turn now, and by the opening quarter, 31 1/5 seconds move down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Devlin B moving on the outside, the leader once again. Chancel Lane racing 2, back 2 lengths, and Woodmere Hank moving 3. Woodmere Andy racing in 4. That's 1 Dragon moving 5. Island Eliza 6. Orbel Express 7 moves to the outside, and the trailer Gold Ronnie. They're in the turn now on the way to the half mile. Out in front, Devlin B by 1.5 lengths. Chancel Lane driving to the half, 1:04 and 1. They go to the back stretch now, on to the 5/8. It's still Devlin B out in front, 1.5 lengths. Chancel Lane driving 2. 1 Dragons on the outside, moving 3. Woodmere Hank on the rail 4. Up on the outside, Orbel Express racing 5. Woodmere Andy on the rail 6. Up on the outside, 7 and on the move, Gold Ronnie and the trailer now. Island Eliza as they go to the turn for the 3/4 in 1:35 and 4. Devlin B on the inside, up on the outside. One Dragon is racing 2, Chancellor. Third on the rail, looking for Can't Find Room. Or Bell Express on the outside 4. There by the 7/8 now. Drive on home. Devlin B, One Dragon on the outside. Chancellor gets to the outside. Or Bell Express on the move. They come on home. Devlin B, Chancellor's up on the outside. Going to be close in 2. 06 and 3.
Of Toronto, Mr. McDonald driving. Number 5, Flight Officer, owned by Mr. Romeo Boucher of Moncton, Mr. Gordy Hennessy driving. 6, Bay River Dancer, owned by Mr. Bertin Cormier and Mr. Omer Casey of Cocan, Mr. Joe Gogan driving. And 7, Mountain Swinger, owned by Mr. Bert Heyman of Kensington, Prince Edward Island, Mr. Earl Smith driving. Race 10, 7 starters, Quinella Triactor wagering 8 minutes at the mutuals. 8 minutes remaining.
Holmes, we'll never find our quarry here.
On the contrary, Watson, he's not far. Moreover, he is a tall man with red hair.
How could you possibly know that?
Because the corn, Watson, is exactly 170 centimeters high.
Indeed.
You stand 160 centimeters, I believe.
161.
Whereas I stand 190 centimeters tall.
You mean...
Yes, Watson. What? I can see the rotter.
Amazing, Holmes.
Metric, Watson.
They go to the backstretch. They're off. That's Keystone Mineral with the lead. Flight Officer up on the outside to challenge and in between horses. Mr. Turpin Racing 3. They battle for the lead as they go to the turn. Flight Officer on the outside now takes it away by the opening 8. On the inside, Keystone Mineral Racing 2. In along the rail as they swing round the turn, Special Class moving 3. Mr. Turpin's on the outside of Racing 4. They swing round the turn, go on by the opening quarter, 28 and 2. Off the turn, down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Flight Officer out in front with the lead. Keystone Mineral Racing 2. On the rail, Special Class moving 3. Mr. Turpin 4th and moving on the outside. In along the rail, Bayside Catfish 5. Mountain Swinger 6 on the outside, and the trailer moving to the outside, Bay River Dancer. They go to the turn now for the half. It's still Flight Officer in command by a length over Keystone Mineral. The half was in 59 and 3. Flight Officer takes him out of the turn into the back stretch for the final time. Mr. Turpin on the outside, 2. Keystone Mineral on the rail is a Racing 3. In along the rail, Bayside Catfish 4. They're on down the back stretch. It's Flight Officer on the inside. He's the leader by a head. Mr. Turpin on the outside, 2. In along the rail, Keystone Mineral looks for room. Can't find any room is Racing 3 by the 3/4. 129 and 1. And they're around the turn on the inside. That's still Flight Officer, the leader. Mr. Turpin on the outside. Keystone Mineral still looks for room on the rail. They come on home. Flight Officer on the outside. Mr. Turpin. Here comes Mountain Swinger on the extreme outside. Flight Officer, Mountain Swinger on the inside. Keystone Mineral. Here comes Special Class on the inside. It's Special Class. Here they are. Mile 159. Reading now, ladies and gentlemen, the unofficial winner of race 10, number 2, Special Class. A 5-year-old bay pacing stallion by Keystone Ore from Special Delight, owned by Mr. Eric Webby of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, trained and driven by Mr. Robert Laffin. A mile in 1:59, a new record for Special Class, with a mark of 1:59 and 1/5. Now here for our finish line presentation ceremonies, members of the staff here at Champlain Raceway, Race Secretary Mrs. Holly Steves, along with the bookkeeper, Jane Mitten. Presentation of the cooler being made by Mr. Burt McQuaid. For Mr. McQuaid, his final day here at Champlain Raceway. He'll be joining the Atlantic Lottery Corporation as Director of Sales. We'll all miss Burt McQuaid around here at Champlain Raceway. His enthusiasm was positively contagious. A welcome addition to the sport. And I might add that once in a while his enthusiasm did get carried away. There was one time for a special promotion he wanted to reenact the discovery of America, but we couldn't get hold of Christopher Columbus for that afternoon. He was also talking about reenacting the U.S. Civil War with the original cast. And we did have some gifts to be presented to Mr. McQuaid here this afternoon. However, Jane Mitten, our bookkeeper, forgot to bring the cream pies. However, our gift to Mr. Burt McQuaid was here a couple of weeks ago in the form of an interesting evening following the races in the lounge. Burt, we'll all miss you at Champlain Raceway. We've enjoyed having you here. We wish you all the success in the future, and I know that you're never at a loss for words, so over to you.
Well, Howie, thank you very much. I really enjoyed working here at Champlain Raceway, and we have the greatest show in the Maritimes coming here tonight, and I want you all to come back. But it's great to stand here on the afternoon of a great harness racing card like we had, and tell everybody that we set a betting record here this afternoon at Champlain, over $85,000 bet. And tonight we look forward to seeing on this racetrack Boomer German, Canada's Horse of the Year last year, Winner's Accolade, Maritime Horse of the Year last year, Wavor, Aerobatic, Greener Pastures from Toronto, Mindbender from Montreal, Jules David from the Meadowlands, and we want you all back here to see it. But I'll say this, my enthusiasm could never have reached the heights it did if it were not for Holly, Jane, Kimmy, Ken, George, Howie, all the people in the boxes upstairs, the people in the restaurants, the people in the bars, and of course all you fans that keep coming back to Champlain Raceway, and the media, both printed and written. So thank you very much. Come back here tonight, please. You're going to see, if not the fastest race in Canada, definitely the fastest race ever in the Maritimes. Thank you.
Thank you, Bert. The result of race number 10 is official. Number 1, Keystone Mineral, was third. Number 2, Special Class, the race winner.
When people you like want to include you in something you're not sure of, like smoking a little dope, things get pretty stormy inside you, and you wonder whether you'll ever get through those heavy seas. But staying real is worth it, because all storms end, and getting through one on your own is the biggest high of all.
For information on the effects and health hazards of marijuana and hashish, write Stay Real, Box 8888, Ottawa.
Bill McLennan believes that loving your neighbor is getting out and giving him a hand and talking with him where he works and lives. Bill McLennan, United Church Minister, living love and loving it.
They go to the backstretch. They're off. Manitix Bell has the lead, trotting up on the outside. Sundance Tad Racing 2. That's Social Fling off stride. They go to the turn. On the outside, Sundance Tad has the lead. Eva Ayers is 2 on the rail. Driving up on the outside, KF Kiwi now trotting in 3 as they swing round the paddock turn, going for the opening quarter. Eva Ayres on the inside with the lead. On the outside, Racing 2. It's Sundance Tad there round the turn by the opening quarter. 29 3/5 seconds. They move down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Out in front, trotting away strong, that's Eva Ayres. Racing in 2 is KF Kiwi. Moving 3, Manitix Bell. Critic Racing in 4. Phil Anway is moving 5. Happy Pine Racing 6. Trotting up on the outside now, Sundance Tad and the trailer Social Fling. They go to the turn now. Racing for the half. The leader as they swing round the turn is Eva Ayres by a length and a half. They're on by the half, 101 4. Out of the turn to the back stretch for the final time. Eva Ayres out in front, a length and a half. Racing in 2. That's a KF Kiwi, and up on the outside, trotting strong. There goes a Manitix Bell, with Critic trotting 4 in along the rail. Phil Anway Racing 5. Happy Pine 6 on the outside. Then Sundance Tad and Social Fling. They go to the turn now for the 3/4. It's Eva Ayres on top, a length and a half. 3/4 and 1:32 3. Eva Ayres on the inside. Up on the outside, that's Manitix Bell. They're now racing neck and neck round the final turn. Eva Ayres on the inside. Manitix Bell on the outside. At the 7/8 now and coming on home. Eva Ayres, Manitix Bell drives up on the outside. Manitix Bell, Eva Ayres as they come to the wire. Manitix Bell on the outside. Eva Ayres racing on home. It's Manitix Bell, Eva Ayres at the wire. Here they are. Mile 2, 0, 4 and 3. They go to the backstretch. They're off up in between horses. Real Creed has a lead. Chip Spreader Racing 2. Highland Huser moving 3 and swinging 4 wide. Quickest of them all, that's a Regal Gauntlet now racing 3rd as they go to the paddock turn. Is Chip Spreader. Regal Gauntlet flies up on the outside. Opens up a half length and takes away the lead. Chip Spreader's in along the rail Racing 2. Real Creed moving 3. That's Highland Yuri 4th and moving on the outside. Matt Hanover 5 on the rail as they go by the quarter in 28 3. They're off the turn, racing down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Regal Gauntlet out in front. Highland Yuri on the outside of Racing 2. Chip Spreader is on the rail and is 3rd by a nose. Real Creed racing in 4. Matt Hanover moving 5. Followed by Jack Diadios. Overbrook Sir John is on the move. And followed by Highland Huser as they go to the turn. Regal Gauntlet cuts it out, leads by a length and a half. Chip Spreader Racing 2. They flash on by the half in 1 minute and 2/5. It's a Regal Gauntlet by 2 lengths. Chip Spreader driving 2. On the rail, Highland Yuri racing in 3. As they go down the back stretch and along the rail, Real Creed is a moving 4. Overbrook Sir John 5 and moving on the outside. On the inside, Matt Hanover Racing 6. Highland Huser on the outside 7. As they go to the turn, the trailer Jack Diadios into the turn. Out in front still, that's a Regal Gauntlet. They go by the 3/4, 1:30 2. Overbrook Sir John makes up ground on the outside. He's now second and flying on the outside. It's a Regal Gauntlet. Overbrook Sir John up on the outside now to challenge. They're by the 7/8 and coming on home. Overbrook Sir John paces away on the outside. Regal Gauntlet on the inside and Chip Spreader for 3 as they come on home. That's Overbrook Sir John by 2, by 3, by the wire. Overbrook Sir John, mile 2 minutes and 3/5. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Certic has the lead. Now Kilmuir Dandy rushes up on the rail in between horses M.J. Quinton and on the outside. It's Just a Dreamer as they race to the paddock turn. Just a Dreamer out in front opens up a length and a half. Kilmuir Dandy racing in 2. M.J. Quinton moving 3. L.J. Wilco in along the rail racing in 4. At Cerdic moving 5. Then Glenn Galdair's Lovely Beauty and the trailer is Abigail last. They're round the turn going for the opening quarter. Out in front, a length and a half, Just a Dreamer. They go by the quarter in 32. On down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Just a Dreamer out in front by a length with the lead. Racing 2 is a Kilmuir Dandy. M.J. Quinton moving 3. L.J. Wilco in 4. Cerdic racing 5. On the outside and moving on, that's Abigail last. Followed by Glenn Galdair's and the trailer is a Lovely Beauty. They go to the turn now for the half. Out in front, it's still Just a Dreamer. By a length over Kilmuir Dandy. Abigail last, third, and moving on the outside. They swing round the turn, go on by the half and 6 and 1. Out of the turn, Just a Dreamer, Abigail last, 2 on the outside. On the rail, Kilmuir Dandy racing 3. Up on the outside, M.J. Quinton is on the move. They're on down the back stretch, Abigail last on the outside by a half length. Just a Dreamer on the inside, a racing 2. M.J. Quinton drives 3 on the outside. Kilmuir Dandy on the rail 4. And it's L.J. Wilco racing 5. Cerdic, Glenn Galdair's and the trailer Lovely Beauty 3/4 and 36 and 1. They're round the turn now for the final time. On the inside, Abigail last. On the outside, that's M.J. Quinton on the move. Just a Dreamer's 3 on the rail, L.J. Wilco 4. And Kilmuir Dandy off the turn, they come on home. Abigail last, M.J. Quinton on the outside. L.J. Wilco, here comes Kilmuir Dandy. Up on the extreme outside through the lane. It's going to be Abigail last at the wire. Here they are. Mile and 8 and 2. Highland Genie with Raoul Saunier. Traveling Orphan with Ron Gass. Shifty Gambler with Ron McClenaghan. And Little Glove with Rod Jameson. A field of 8 behind the gate. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Beamsville has the lead. In between horses racing in 2. That's Millwood Counter. As they go 4 wide racing to the paddock turn. Up on the extreme outside, Little Glove now takes the lead. Shifty Gambler racing 2. Beamsville in along the rail is moving 3. Millwood Counter racing 4. 5 and moving on the outside, that's Highland Genie. They swing round the paddock turn, go for the opening quarter. Little Glove out in front sets the pace as they swing on by the quarter. Quarter in 29 and 4/5 seconds. Off the turn, down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Little Glove is out in front, leading by a length. Shifty Gambler racing 2. It along the rail, Beamsville is moving 3. Racing in 4, Millwood Counter, Avon Blazer 5. Highland Genie 6 on the outside, then Traveling Orphan. And the trailer is Pine Way Cyclone. They go to the turn. Racing for the half out in front. It's still Little Glove by a length. Shifty Gambler racing 2. They swing on by the half in 1:02 and 3. Race to the backstretch now for the final time. Out in front still, that's Little Glove by a length. Shifty Gambler driving 2. Beamsville third and trucking on the outside, Here comes Millwood Counter racing 4. Avon Blazer on the move. Highland Genie comes 4 wide down the backstretch. Traveling Orphan looking for racing room as they swing to the turn. Pine Way Cyclone in along the rail. They're bunched up round the turn for the final time by the 3/4 in 1:35. On the inside, Little Glove, Avon Blazer on the extreme outside. Swinging 4 wide to challenge for the lead. It's a Little Glove. Avon Blazer on the outside. Traveling Orphan in between horses. They're at the 7/8 and coming on home. Avon Blazer, Traveling Orphan to the outside. Racing to the wire. Avon Blazer, Traveling Orphan up on the outside. Avon Blazer, Traveling Orphan at the wire. It's going to be Avon Blazer. Here they are. Mile and 6 and 1. They're off on the inside. Ponzi Herbert has the lead. That's Irish Brad up in between horses, takes it away. They go 4 wide for the turn. Off stride Bay River Duke as they swing to the turn. On the inside, Irish Brad, Woodmere Spirit. On the outside takes the lead. They go by the opening 8. In along the rail now, Woodmere Spirit cuts it out. On the inside, Irish Brad Racing 2. Chico's Wig moving 3 round the turn. Ponzi Herbert Racing in 4. They go on by the opening quarter in 29 and 2. Off the turn, down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Woodmere Spirit out in front by a length. Chico's Wig on the outside 2. On the inside by a neck, Irish Brad Racing 3. Ponzi Herbert moving 4 up on the outside. There goes Moorland's Greta Racing 5. Nathan Collins is 6 on the rail, and Bay River Duke on the outside 7, followed by Hamilton Lad and the trailer Sterling Orchid. They go to the turn now, racing on by the half in 1 minute and 4/5. Woodmere Spirit still out in front, a length and a half. Irish Brad is second once again, and on the outside, Chico's Wig Racing 3. Moorland's Greta comes 3 wide as 4 on the outside. Ponzi Herbert 5 in along the rail. Bay River Duke on the outside is a racing 6. Nathan Collins 7 on the rail. Hamilton Lad on the outside, and the trailer is Sterling Orchid. They go to the turn, racing on by the 3/4 in 1:31 and 2. Woodmere Spirit out in front, a length and a half round the paddock turn. Irish Brad is on the rail and racing 2. Chico's Wig holds 3 on the outside. They swing round the turn, come on by the 7/8. It's a Woodmere Spirit. Chico's Wig on the outside, and on the extreme outside, here comes Bay River Duke. They race to the wire. Woodmere Spirit, Bay River Duke, and Sterling Orchid up on the outside, coming on home. It's a Woodmere Spirit. Here they are. Mile 2:03 and 3. They're off on the inside. Cocan Judy has the lead. Rushing up on the outside, there goes Abalola as they swing to the turn. Racing 3 wide, Abalola has the lead. Swinging on into the turn, it's Abalola out in front. Sugar Skipper on the inside takes it away. Abalola now parked 2 on the outside. Cocan Judy is a racing 3 as they swing round the turn. Racing for the opening quarter, Sugar Skipper on the inside. Abalola up on the outside. They wing by the quarter in 29 and 3. Off the turn, down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Abalola still parked on the outside as they move on through the lane. Sugar Skipper on top, Abalola 2 on the outside. On the inside, Cocan Judy racing 3. Johnsy the second moving 4, racing in 5, it's Gold Ronnie. As they swing to the turn, what a dandy moving 6. Love that lady racing 7. They move round the turn. Going for the half, Sugar Skipper's out in front by the half in 1:01 and 2. Racing round the turn to the back stretch for the final time. Sugar Skipper on top. On the inside, Cocan Judy. Abalola moves again on the outside and is second by a nose up on the outside. Johnsy the second racing 4. Gold Ronnie moving 5. What a dandy racing 6, and it's Love That Lady. Eddie be ready as they race for the turn. Going for the 3/4, Sugar Skipper on top. They race by the 3/4 in 1:32. It's still Sugar Skipper by a length. Johnsy the second moving on the outside. They swing round the turn. Racing round the turn, Sugar Skipper. Johnsy the second, and in along the rail, racing 3, Cocan Judy. They're off the turn now and coming on home. Sugar Skipper action up on the outside. Johnsy the second, Gold Ronnie on the move. They come to the wire. Sugar Skipper, Gold Ronnie up on the outside at the wire. It's going to be close to there. Mile 2-4. They go to the back stretch. They're off on the inside. Smiling Sterling has the lead. They go 5 wide for the turn, flying up in between horses and taking away the lead. Lakeside Midwatch on the outside. A challenge. There goes Green Tree Scott. Green Tree Scott is now the leader by the 8th. Lakeside Midwatch racing 2. In along the rail, Smiling Sterling moving 3. Vicky's Isle 4th on the outside.
I'm on schedule on the rail racing in 5. Action Baron moving 6, and Andy O command the trailer as they go on by the opening quarter in 29 and 3 is High Fly. They're off the turn down the stretch in front of the stand, racing through the lane for the first time. Lakeside Midwatch on the outside takes the lead by a neck on the inside. Green Tree Scott racing 2 on the outside. Vicky's Isle is a moving 3. There's Action on the outside. Action Baron on the move. High Fly is on the move. They go to the turn now for the half. Lakeside Midwatch out in front. The leader by a length, and on the rail, Green Tree Scott. Vicky's Isle racing 3 the half, 101 and 3. They're to the turn to the back stretch now for the final time. Lakeside Midwatch on top on the outside. Racing 2 is Vicky's Isle. Green Tree Scott on the rail moving 3. On the outside, Action Baron racing 4. Smiling Sterling in along the rail moving 5. High Fly 6 on the outside. They go to the turn racing in 7. It's I'm on schedule and the trailer Andy Yoakum on by the 3/4 in 132 and 3. On the inside, still with the lead, Lakeside Midwatch. Up on the outside, racing 2, Vicky's Isle. Here comes Action Baron 3 wide round the final turn as they spread out and come on home. Lakeside Midwatch, Action Baron on the outside as they race for the wire. Action Baron, Lakeside Midwatch. Here comes High Fly on the outside, and I'm on schedule racing to the wire. It's going to be Action Baron. Here they are. Mile 2:04 and 3. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Cambridge Dan has the lead. Up on the outside, Bayside Pirate takes it away. Night Hunter is flying up on the extreme outside as they swing to the turn. Heritage Grad moves between horses and is now the leader. They swing on by the opening 8th. Heritage Grad on top. Night Hunter moving on the outside to challenge in along the rail. Bayside Pirate racing in 3. Cambridge Dan moving 4. As they swing round the turn, go on by the opening quarter in 29 and 1. Off the turn, down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Out in front as they roll on through the lane, that's Heritage Grad by a length. Night Hunter's on the rail racing in 2. Bayside Pirate moving 3. Cambridge Dan 4. Aaron's Aurora 5 on the rail. True Air on the outside 6. As they go to the turn, Old Time Robbie racing in 7. They swing round the turn racing for the half. Majors first is 8. Racing now to the half. Still out in front, Heritage Grad the half, 101 and 2. Up on the outside, Night Hunter is racing 2. Bayside Pirate on the rail moving 3. True Air on the outside 4. In along the rail, Cambridge Dan is racing 5. Moving on the outside now quickly as they go down the backstretch, Old Time Robbie. Aaron's Aurora in along the rail as they swing to the turn, followed by Bay River Mist and Majors first, racing into the turn and on by the 3/4 in 130 and 4. Out in front by 4 lengths, it's Night Hunter with the lead. True Air on the outside by a nose is second, and on the rail, Heritage Grad racing 3. They swing round the turn now, go on by the 7/8 and come home. It's Night Hunter on top. True Air is up on the outside and closing. A race to the wire. Night Hunter, True Air on the outside. Old Time Robbie. Here comes Bayside Pirate at the wire. It's going to be Night Hunter. Here they are. Mile 2:02 and 1. Presentation of the Burger King cooler is now being made here at the finish line, and if we could just hold on at the wire for a minute, we are awaiting the arrival of Mr. Charlie Bourgeois, Mr. Paul Boutelier, and Mr. Denny Savard and Bert. They're on their way down through the crowd right now.
Thanks, Howie. We'd also like to welcome Lisa Barnes of Burger King. And Lisa, how did you enjoy the 2 races that you made the presentation to?
Very much. I enjoyed it very much.
On behalf of Champlain Raceway, we want to thank Burger King for participating in this Monctonian Cup.
We are proud to be part of it.
Thanks, Lisa. Michael, that was quite a mile. How'd your colt race?
Raced real good.
How's the racetrack, Michael?
Track's fast.
You think we're going to have a good mile in 2 races time?
It'll be the fastest mile in Canada.
There off, Simon Midwatch has the lead, and along the rail, Candy Reef takes it away. Up on the outside, Worthy Gift, P.H. Phil is now on the move as they swing to the turn. On the inside, Candy Reef. Up on the outside, Simon Midwatch is now the leader. Candy Reef on the rail, racing in 2. P.H. Phil now on the rail, moving 3. Worthy Gift racing in 4. Pitching Prospect moving 5. Good Tracy racing 6. And Sky Glen Benson and Elixir Grad by the opening quarter, 29-1. They're off the turn down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Out in front, and the new leader, P.H. Phil, as they go by the stand. Simon Midwatch racing 2. Candy Reef moving 3. That's Worthy Gift in 4. Pitching Prospect 5. Followed by Good Tracy, Sky Glen Benson, and the trailer is Elixir Grad. They go to the turn now, racing for the half. P.H. Phil is in command, out in front, a length and a half. Simon Midwatch racing 2. They're by the half. 1 minute and 2/5. P.H. Phil takes him out of the turn and over to the back stretch. It's P.H. Phil, a length and a half out in front. On the rail, Simon Midwatch 2, and on the outside, that's Candy Reef on the move. Worthy Gift is on the outside in 4. In along the rail, Good Tracy racing 5. Pitching Prospect 6 on the outside. Then Elixir Grad and Sky Glen Benson. They go to the turn and race on by the 3/4 in 1, 29-3. Out in front with the lead, it's P.H. Phil. On the outside by a length and racing 2. Candy Reef in along the rail, Simon Midwatch moving 3. Around the turn and by the 7/8 coming on home. P.H. Phil, Candy Reef is on the outside. Here comes Worthy Gift on the extreme outside. That's Candy Reef. Simon Midwatch, Worthy Gift as they race to the wire. It's going to be Candy Reef at the wire. Here they are. Mile, 2 minutes and 3/5 is number 1, Candy Reef. A 3-year-old three-legged bay pacing stallion by silent majority from Reef Tan, owned by Belco Stables Limited of Dieppe, trained by Mr. Yvon Cormier, driven by Mr. Dave Finckney. A mile, 2 minutes and 3/5 is a new record for number 1, Candy Reef. On behalf of the directors of the United States Trotting Association for District 10, our presiding judge, Mr. Frank Daniels, Mr. Paul McKinnon of Prince Edward Island, Dr. George Irving of Moncton, and Mr. Doug Caldwell of St. John, presentation here of the color cooler now being made. Number 1, Candy Reef, your unofficial winner. Judges have called for place and show photo. Hold your tickets, please.
Mr. George Irving, Director for District 10. George, thank you very much for sponsoring this race tonight. And what do you think about the big race coming up, Doctor?
Well, I'm very pleased to see so many people here tonight. We hope many of them will come back, and I'm pulling for our maritime horse Wave Off.
Good. Thanks very much, George.
They're moving once again in the $50,000 Monctonian Cup. Greener Pastures, Roger Mayotte. Wavor with Dave Finckney. Aerobatic, Mike McDonald. Mindbender with Paul McDonald. Boomer Drummond with Jean-Paul Charon. Winner's Accolade with Emmons McKay. And Joel's David with Jimmy Doherty. A field of 7 behind the gate. They go to the backstretch. They're off. Wavor has the lead. Up on the outside, Boomer Drummond is on the move as they race for the turn. They swing into the turn. Winner's Accolade driving for the top, racing to the paddock turn.
Jules David up on the outside, racing 2 in along the rail. Wavor is moving 3. Boomer Drummond on the outside, racing 4. Greener Pastures 5 in along the rail. They swing round the turn. Aerobatic in 6. Mindbender the trailer by the opening quarter, 27-4. They're off the turn down the stretch in front of the stand. Winner's Accolade out in front. Jules David on the inside. There's the Boomer trucking on the outside. They go by the stand. Out in front, that's Winner's Accolade. Boomer Drummond on the outside. Jules David on the inside, and Wavor's on the move. Greener Pastures racing 5. They go to the turn. Racing for the half. Winner's Accolade on the inside, the half. 56-2. They're out of the turn to the backstretch for the final time. That's a Winner's Accolade. The Boomer's on the outside. Here comes Wavor up on the outside 3. Jules David racing 4. Moving on the outside. That's Aerobatic down the backstretch. It's the Boomer on top. Aerobatic and Wavor flying on the outside. Boomer Drummond. Wavor's on the outside, on the move on the outside. Aerobatic 125 for the 3/4. They're neck and neck round the turn. On the inside, it's the Boomer. Up on the outside, that's Wavor. They swing round the turn for the 7/8. Boomer Drummond on the inside. Up on the outside, here comes Wavor. It's Boomer Drummond. Wavor on the outside. They come on home. That's Wavor. It's Wavor. Wavor. Boomer Drummond at the wire. That's Wavor and Boomer Drummond. It's going to be Wavor. Mile 1:54-2. Wavor 1:54-2. Ladies and gentlemen, in each and every race you can only have one winner, but you must have others to make the race. Let's give a warm Champlain Raceway and Maritime welcome back to Roger Mayotte with Greener Pastures, Mike McDonald with Aerobatic, Paul McDonald with Mindbender, Jean-Paul Charon with Boomer Drummond, Emmons McKay with Winner's Accolade, and Jimmy Doherty with Jules David. Gentlemen, thank you for probably the most exciting race ever in the Maritimes. Once again, Mr. Mayotte, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Paul McDonald, Mr. Charon, Mr. McKay, Mr. Doherty, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back now, the unofficial winner of the $50,000 Monctonian Cup. Let's welcome Wavor and Mr. Dave Pinckney. And there's a souvenir for somebody in the stands. Number 2, Wavor, a 5-year-old bay pacing stallion by Keystone Ore from Happy Wave, owned by Mr. Eric Webby of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, trained by Mr. Robert Laff and driven by Mr. Dave Pinckney. For Wavor, his 7th consecutive victory. And if you look at the teletimer, the fastest mile in the history of maritime harness racing, 1:54-2. And to this point in time, the 2nd fastest race mile of 1985 in Canada. Number 2, Wavor, last season pacing in 1:56, the maritime record, and winning the Monctonian for Mr. Pinckney back again. Another victory, this time for $50,000. Wavor, 1:54-2. And of course, congratulations to Eric Webby. Over the years, many, many winners out of his barn. Also on hand here at the finish line, we are looking for Mr. Scott Grady of Moncton Honda Motors. Scott has a check for $1,000 for setting a new track record. Presentation of the Monctonian Cup being made by Mayor George Rideout of Moncton.
Also on hand, Miss Donna Balser, Miss Moncton of 1985. On hand as well, Mr. Mike Haywood of Moncton Honda Motors. To assist in a moment's time with the presentation. The check for $1,000 for Mr. Dave Pinkney, driver of the winning horse in a track and a maritime record.
Check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the mayor of the city of Moncton, sponsor of the Monctonian horse race, Mayor George Rideout, to make the presentation of the Monctonian Cup to the owner of Wayvor, Mr. Eric Webby. Mayor Rideout.
Thank you very much. It was really an exciting horse race, and it just put Moncton on the map as far as horse racing is concerned. I just wanted to congratulate all the promoters. They've just done a super job, and congratulate the winner, Wayburn. Thank you.
On the rail, second on the outside. Oblintam, third on the rail. Who's to question for? Then Lonesome Bound. Action Baron just can't win, goes to the outside. 3/4, 134 and 1. My Lady D now 2 1/2 lengths out in front. Brett's Rascal second on the rail. Oblintam's on the outside third. Who's to question? 4 on the rail. Lonesome Bound to the outside 5. Less than an eighth to go. They're down the stretch. My Lady D, Oblintam, Brett's Rascal, who's to question on the inside, and Lonesome Bound on the outside. Racing to the wire. It's going to be on the rail. Billy the Dreamer second, Sky Glen Corey third, Island Fantastic fourth, and the trailer P.H. Bertal. They're round the turn now. Race on for the opening quarter, out in front by the quarter. 31 and 2, that's the critic. Billy the Dreamer second, Sky Glen Corey racing third, Island Fantastic, and P.H. Bertal. They race that way in front of the stand. The critic setting the pace, a length and a quarter out in front. Billy the Dreamer second, Sky Glen Corey third, Island Fantastic, and P.H. Bertal. They go to the turn now. On to the half-mile positions, unchanged in the turn. The critic, Billy the Dreamer, Sky Glen Corey, Island Fantastic, P.H. Bertal, the half, 104 and 2. They're on the back stretch. Racing now for the 5/8. It's still the critic out in front. Billy the Dreamer second, Sky Glen Corey third, Island Fantastic 4, P.H. Bertal 5. They go that way by the 5/8. The critic out in front. It's now a length and a half driving to Billy the Dreamer to the outside. Sky Glen Corey from third is on the move. 3/4, 134 and 4. The critic still holds the lead. A length and a half on the rail. Billy the Dreamer second, in between horses. Sky Glen Corey third on the outside now and on the move. Here comes Island Fantastic and P.H. Bertal. They're down the stretch. The critic, Island Fantastic up on the outside. The critic, Island Fantastic's flying on the outside at the wire. It's going to be Island Fantastic close for place in 2, 5 and 1.
Little River Baron out on the extreme outside. Tom Wood Horton is also out and on the move. As they move off the top turn, here they come 3 wide. As they pass the first quarter, Little River Baron still pacing in along the rail with Fancy Cash up through the center now. Fancy Cash takes over. They were by the opening quarter in 30 3/5. Moving on the outside now and driving up to take over the top. As they pass the grandstand is Tomwood Horton. Fancy Cash now second. Little River Baron pacing 3 with Eunice Sissy. Moorlands Tim follows them with Tricks Pride. Bacon Bites is at the back of the field. They move on now for the half. Up front, Tomwood Horton setting the fractions, leads by 1 over Fancy Cash. Still behind them 3, Little River Baron. Eunice Sissy has 4, opening half a quick 1:02.1. They make the turn for the backstretch. Going on now for the 3 quarters. Tomwood Horton is still there, leading by 1 open length. Fancy Cash second. There goes Little River Baron to the outside. Eunice Sissy is out and following. Bacon Bites with a big move from the tail end of the field is coming on. As they drive onto the 3/4 pole, still up front, Tomwood Horton holds a lead of 1 open length. Little River Baron parked up second on the outside. Fancy Cash is 3 along the rail. Then comes Eunice Sissy. Bacon Bites now moving up 5 on the extreme outside. 3/4, 1:34 and 4/5. Still with a lead now by just a half is Tomwood Horton. Little River Baron hanging tough there on the outside second. Eunice Sissy looks to go 3 wide. And coming out 4 wide now is Bacon Bites. They're driving through the stretch, and here they come home. Taking them through the lane, Tomwood Horton, Little River Baron. Bacon Bites is closing up quickly way on the outside, and Eunice Sissy's in the center. As they travel through the stretch, Tomwood Horton, Eunice Sissy. At the wire, it'll be Tomwood Horton, Eunice Sissy, and Bacon Bites. Mile in 2:08. They're off and pacing. Bayside Kinsman on the inside looks for the lead. Moving out quickly, My Lady D is up on the outside. A challenge for the front. Now has it. My Lady D taking them on to the opening 8. Bayside Kinsman racing out of 2. Summer Oil is sitting behind them, pacing in 3. As they drive up to the opening quarter, My Lady D off the top. Your leader by 1 length. Bayside Kinsman will get a good trip out of 2 as they swing off the top turn. Here they come in front of the grandstand, reaching the first quarter in 32 seconds. Your leader as they pass here, My Lady D by 1 open length. Bayside Kinsman sits in 2. Summer Oil racing out of 3. Then Just Can't Win, Bindy's Friend John. Out of the 6th spot is Glengall Sam and the trailer Nightly Blue Boy. They go up to the 8, passing the halfway point. As they make the turn, leading the field as they drive up past the half. Still off the top, My Lady D. Bayside Kinsman holding on to 2 with Summer Oil 3. Glengall Sam coming from the back of the field. Nightly Blue Boy following him. The half was in 1:04.1. Driving through the back stretch to the 3/4. Still off the top, holding on to the lead. My Lady D over Bayside Kinsman. Now tied up in 3 for Summer Oil. Just Can't Win along the rail is 4. 5 on the outside for Glengall Sam. Following them to the turn is Bindy's Friend John, and outside Nightly Blue Boy past 3/4, 1:35 and 1/5. Holding on to the top spot as they arrive at the top of the stretch. My Lady D, Bayside Kinsman's on the outside. Glengall Sam making a move. And way outside coming on is Nightly Blue Boy. Here they come through the stretch as they drive home. Summer Oil moves up. Racing through the lane, My Lady D, Summer Oil on the outside and closing up Nightly Blue Boy. As they battle through the stretch and to the wire, it's My Lady D, Summer Oil, and Nightly Blue Boy. Mile in 2:07. They're off and pacing. P.H. Burton comes out of there quickly on the inside. Sky Glen Corey pacing strong way on the outside with BBA Fashion in the center. They're moving now up to the 8th. As they race past the 8th, P.H. Burton showing on top. P.H. Burton racing on top as they go to the 8th. Woodmere Andy moves along the rail in second. BBA Fashion now 3, dropping back to the tail end of Sky Glen Corey. They move by the opening quarter, and number 1, P.H. Burton, leads them off the top turn and through the stretch. Opening quarter was 31 seconds. Front of the grandstand, P.H. Burton off the top. Tied up in 2 is Woodmere Andy. Sitting in 3, BBA Fashion. Island Fantastic has moved up 4. Lady Darrington, and now trailing Sky Glen Corey. Passing the grandstand, going on to the halfway point. Your leader as they approach the half. P.H. Burton is still there. P.H. Burton leading by 1 length. Enjoying a good trip. Tied up in 2 is Woodmere Andy. BBA Fashion is racing 3. Island Fantastic. Pace is tied up in 4. Lady Darrington, and still at the tail end, Sky Glen Corey, the half in 1:04. They move up the backstretch, heading for the 3/4. Out and on the move, Woodmere Andy up to challenge P.H. Burton for the top. P.H. Burton on the inside, and Woodmere Andy is outside. Staying with them 3, BBA Fashion. Island Fantastic has 4. As they continue on past 3/4, it's still P.H. Burton there by a quarter of a length, 1:34. They travel on to the top turn. P.H. Burton is still the leader. Woodmere Andy second. Here's BBA Fashion moving. Island Fantastic moves out to follow him and steps out 4 wide. Sky Glen Corey goes in along the fence, and here they come as they drive through the stretch. There's 4 of them across the track. P.H. Burton taking them on home, moving up quickly on the outside as they come to the stretch. Racing down to the wire. Under the wire, it's going to be BBA Fashion. Up on the outside second, Lady Darrington, and Island Fantastic will grab the show spot.